Hey there. So yeah, I can break it down. The let's get this research started discussion post. It's in, let's see, it's in week 11. And let's look back. We've already started, let's look at week 10 real quick. So we started this unit 4, which is the long annotated bibliography unit, with this reading, either Muir or Carson. So the reading was meant to get you thinking about a whole bunch of different possible research topics. He writes about, you know, deforestation, and she writes about pesticides. Um, but there are other topics sort of embedded in those articles. Plus, there's dozens of topics embedded in the previous articles you've read. So. Um, And then in week 11, I had you post 3 possible research topics that might interest you, and then post again after you'd had a chance to look at your classmates' ideas and think about it. Post again and say which topic you wanted to go forward with. So the long annotated bibliography is what you're working on immediately here, but the last month of the class is all about kind of doing this research on your chosen topic. And the long annotated bibliography prepares you to write your cause, effect, and analysis essay, and also your final exam, which is a solutions essay. All right, so and then here we are. And so meanwhile, you should have been, you've been doing all this work, learning how to use the databases, how to vet websites to find good information online, and you've been doing that all semester. Okay, so finally we get to this. Let's get this research started, and there are a few parts. So the first part is to, and I can let me show you what one looks like. The first part is to do some background research, and you do that. Let's see. I'm going to use that one as a model. I'll use this one as a model. The background research, you do that in, here, let me go over here. You do that in the library. So you click on the book, you go to this tile here, articles and databases, and here is where you find all the databases that I will be asking you to use. So Gale eBooks and CQ Researcher for the background reading, and EBSCO hosts and Gale databases for the in-depth research or reading. All right, so the first piece of this discussion post is to use those 2 databases I just showed you for background research, Gale eBooks and CQ Researcher, and use a simple search terms. I have an instructional video that is actually, I think, pretty useful. And I'm just opening another tab so that I can have 2 Canvas tabs open. Let's see, where is my instructional video? It would be here. It's going to be in here. So this video here will show you how to do a simple search in those background databases. You need to just use simple terms like or carbon emissions, or I don't know what. I wish I knew what your topic was. So let's look at Noah's topic. His is wildfires in California. So those would be his search terms: wildfires, California. Those 2, and he came up with 4 background sources. You see from the 2 data. Well, I think I may have asked for 2 from the databases. Let's see what I asked for, and 2 from the web. 4 complete citations of useful background sources for your project. I didn't specify. So use those databases I just showed you on the library website. And then I want a list of 8 to 10 search terms, because when you start doing your in-depth research, you're going to need better search terms, more specific search terms. So instead of California wildfires, you might be using terms like, well, let's see what NOAA chose, like drought and global warming. Let's see what NOAA got. Okay. Global warming, high temperatures, wildfires, climate change. So these are all search terms that he's going to then use to do his in-depth research to answer his research questions. Okay, so that's the second element. Let's go back to the instructions. So you want your 4 complete citations, you want your 8 to 10 search terms, and then you want a research question outline. And there's a worksheet for it here, but this is the information too, same information. So you want, this information here. So you want to start with a big research question, like let's see what NOAA's is. You want a good, and it can't be too broad or too narrow. So that's important, that question right there. And that's like, you want to check that with me. I'm going to comment all of these too. I haven't done it yet. But so his is, how have wildfires affected the sustainability of California? So I might actually encourage him to get a little bit more narrow there, like, in fact, I think I talked to him about it, and I thought he was going to do something more like, are wildfires going to threaten wildlife? Like, to what extent will wildfires in California threaten wildlife going forward, or something like that? So you want a good research question that's properly focused, not too broad, not too narrow. And then after that, he's got a working thesis statement. He's got some introductory questions, some body questions, and a self-discovery question. So that is what I want you to do, just like this one Noah did.